My name is Kyle Chastain. I grew up in a little town in western North Carolina, right outside of Asheville, and I grew up in church. And my grandfather was a pastor for over 50 years. And I accepted Christ when I was 9 years old, but never really took my faith seriously until I went into college. And while I was in college, I knew that I felt a pretty strong call towards ministry, and I spent those years filling out a lot of different areas in ministry and trying to figure out exactly what I was called into. And when I graduated, I became a youth minister, really felt called to be a pastor, and kind of knew that that was going to be the direction that I was going to take. I felt a really strong call towards church planting, and about 4 years ago, my wife and I moved to Cabarrus County, to Concord, and we started working with a local church to learn how to plant a church. We left that church at the end of our agreed on tenure, and we really didn't feel at that time that we were quite ready to go launch out and plant a church. So I was able to work for about 6 months with another local church while we worked on building our launch team, kind of our team of volunteers that was going to get the church off of the ground. And we worked for 6 or 8 months on that, and we actually launched Thousand Hills Church in January of 2016. It was an interesting journey for us. We started out pretty good by most people's standards, I'd say, but we quickly lost steam, and we just weren't really able to get the momentum that we needed to be a life-giving and sustainable church. It seemed like no matter what we did, prayer, outreach, events, nothing really seemed to generate interest where we were. And I got to tell you, there were times that my wife Ashley and I just cried because we didn't understand. You know, how can you pray over something? How can you do something that you're genuinely doing for God, that you genuinely want to see people accept Christ and see lives turned around, and it's not working? I happened to be talking with Robbie one day, hanging out with him, talking to him about some of the options that we were thinking about at the time, and he said, look, you know, I know it may not be really what you want to do, it may not be what you have in mind, but I want to let you know that if you want to, we are about an 18-month-old church here at Hope City. We love church planters, we love church planting, have a heart for it. Your church is in Concord, we are in Harrisburg. We have a lot of people who come to Hope City in Harrisburg from Concord. So if you want to, you guys could suspend your Sunday services that you're doing now because you're taking a lot of time and energy to put into it, and you guys can come and hang out with us. You can work on building a team of volunteers, a launch team, and we'll be a parent church for you. You can sit under our leadership, learn from us how we do things. He said we don't have it perfect, but we do know quite a bit. We've learned a lot, and he said we will send you guys back out if you want to. And I could have kissed him right then and there, but I didn't. I took it back to our leadership, and we prayed about it and talked about it and decided that it was the best thing for us to do. At the beginning of June, we started hanging out with Hope City, started coming on Sundays. We brought the core of Thousand Hills Church with us, and right now we're kind of a church within a church. And I got to tell you, we've seen a lot of doors open that had closed for us before. We've already seen God do a lot of things. We've held a couple of interest meetings for people who want to come and learn more about the church, and things that we have even done before that just feel completely different. Not that God wasn't in it before, not that God wasn't with us before, but this time, I don't know any other way to explain it other than just it really genuinely feels different in a good way, like we're going in the direction that we're supposed to be going. I've had contact with a lot of churches. I've been part of a lot of churches. I've never been part of one as generous, with a heart for the community, a heart for the city, and a heart for church planting as much as Hope City is, and we feel genuinely blessed to be here and be part of it. I would definitely say to anybody that no matter what you think you've done, maybe you think you failed at something, no matter who you are, no matter where you've been, God says your story's not over. The last word hasn't been written. the final chapter hasn't closed. God can do incredible things in circumstances that are beyond our imagination.